Ford has recalled almost 10 million vehicles this year, across more than 30 campaigns, and we're not even halfway through it. The company that built America's best-selling truck for 49 years straight has spent 5 months pulling those trucks back into the shop, one campaign at a time. This isn't one bad part on one bad model. Ford has led the auto industry in recalls every year since 2022, and the numbers keep getting worse. So what happened to the company that built the F-150? And why is America's most trusted truck now its most recalled? To understand how bad this is, you have to understand what the F-150 means. The Ford F-Series has been the best-selling truck in America for 49 years running, and the best-selling vehicle of any kind for over 40 of those years. This isn't a fading nameplate, it's the most successful vehicle in American road history. Think about who buys that truck. The contractor hauling tools before sunrise, the rancher pulling a stock trailer down a gravel road, the guy who waited until 45 to afford the truck he wanted at 18. For half a century, the F-150 was the safe choice. It started in January, towed whatever you hooked to it, and was still running when your kid was old enough to borrow it. Ford sold capability, and it sold trust, and the trust was worth more. Anyone can build one good truck. Ford convinced 3 generations it would build the same good truck every year. That reputation took decades to earn, and what's happened to it in the last 2 years is the real story. So how does a company with that much practice suddenly forget how to build a truck? It made a bet. Somewhere inside Dearborn, Ford decided the future would be one with software, turbocharged engines, and suppliers squeezed to the last dollar. Start with the engines. Ford spent decades building big, simple V8s that ran forever, then swapped many out for smaller, turbocharged EcoBoost engines. More power on paper, far more complexity under the hood. Ford recalled over 90,000 of those engines in 2024 because the intake valves could snap while driving. That's the cost of complexity, and it's never on the window sticker. Then came the software. The modern F-150 isn't a truck with a computer in it. It's a computer with a truck bolted around it, with trailer, brake, camera, and parking modules all talking to each other over a digital network. Ford has even started fixing some recalls with over-the-air updates, the same way your phone updates overnight. Then the suppliers. When Ford recalled more than 500,000 Expeditions and Navigators this year over chrome trim that could peel into sharp edges, it pointed to a supplier using parts that didn't meet its own specs. That's the pattern in one sentence. Squeeze the supplier on cost, then act surprised when the cheap part fails. A striking share of these recalls trace back to Ford's Kentucky truck plant, the same plant Ford now says it's focused on fixing. Here's what Ford will tell you. It's doubled its safety team, expanded testing, added software audits, and warranty costs are trending down. Catching defects fast, Ford says, is a sign the system works. It even has a program called Testing to Failure. But that program was supposed to show results by now, and by every number the public can see, it hasn't. Ford's own CEO promised years ago to root out the company's quality problems, and warned of more recalls in the short term while he did it. At the time, that sounded like accountability. After a record-breaking year and a 9-figure federal fine, it sounds more like a warning nobody read. Let's go through the recalls because the details are the point. Not everyone is a death trap. Most get fixed, plenty are just software patches, but watch what happens when you stack them up. In February 2026, Ford recalled 4.4 million trucks and SUVs in a single campaign. The F-150 alone accounted for 2.3 million, the full F-Series, more than 3.4 million. The defect lived in the integrated trailer brake control module, the part running a trailer's brake lights, turn signals, and on heavy-duty trucks, the trailer brakes themselves. A software timing bug could leave the module powered on but unable to communicate with the truck. Ford estimated only about 1% of those trucks would ever show the fault. But 1% of 4.4 million is still over 40,000 trucks that could lose trailer braking, serious enough that regulators counted it as a violation of federal lighting standards. Picture it, you're towing a loaded trailer down the interstate, the driver behind you can't see your trailer brake lights because they're dead, you hit the brakes, your truck slows, and the trailer doesn't. Then the engines. This year, Ford recalled the 2026 Explorer and Mustang because a circlip smaller than a dime was installed incorrectly on the line. The fix is to inspect and, if damaged, replace the whole engine. A second, similar recall hit the Explorer, Ranger, and Bronco. So much for recalls being quick software patches. Then the cameras. Several 2025 recalls each covered over 1 million vehicles, tied to rear-view cameras that could go blank or freeze in reverse. Another 1.7 million were recalled in early 2026 for a similar failure, including hundreds of thousands of Broncos and Edges over a module that could overheat and shut the screen off. Some carried a flat "do not drive" warning, including one for a front control arm that could disconnect entirely, polite engineering language for the front wheel coming loose while you're steering, and another for block heaters that could crack, short out, and start a fire while the truck sat parked overnight. Here's the detail that says it all. Dozens of Ford's recent recalls existed only to fix vehicles already recalled and repaired incorrectly the first time. Ford's own system had been logging failed repairs as successful, handing trucks back to owners that were never actually fixed. Add it up, and you get the number that broke the record. 153 recalls in 2025, covering nearly 5 million vehicles, the most of any automaker in modern history. And 2026 is on pace to be worse. Almost 10 million vehicles recalled in under 5 months, more than the next several automakers combined. The recall count is only half the story. The other half is what happens after the letter arrives. Take that second engine recall on the Explorer, Ranger, and Bronco. Ford sent owners an interim letter that essentially said, "Your engine might fail, we know, hang tight." The actual fix wasn't available for months. That's a person driving a vehicle Ford has admitted can lose power, waiting on a part that doesn't exist yet. The government noticed too. In 2024, NHTSA fined Ford $165 million, not for the defects themselves, but for dragging its feet on recalling those cameras after it already knew. It's one of the largest penalties of its kind the agency has issued. Regulators also forced Ford to bring in an independent monitor over its recall process and ordered an audit of past repairs, the audit that surfaced the failed software fixes. Follow the sequence. Ford gets fined for slow recalls, the fine triggers an audit, the audit reveals earlier repairs never worked, which triggers another wave of recalls. The cost-cutting didn't save money. It built a machine that generates recalls, then recalls the recalls. Regulators don't assign a monitor to a company having one bad year. They do it when they no longer trust it to police itself. None of this is new. Ford didn't stumble into a bad stretch in 2025. It has led the industry in recalls every year since 2022, and the defects keep repeating. The 4.4 million vehicle trailer brake recall in 2026 echoes a nearly identical one on the F-150 and Super Duty back in 2022, on trucks Ford admitted were repaired incorrectly the first time. The rear-view camera failure has now been recalled in 2024, 2025, and 2026, a small handful of the same failures escaping the same broken process, year after year. Which brings us back to the F-150, 49 years of being the truck you could trust without thinking about it. Today, it sits at the center of the largest recall Ford has filed this year. 2.3 million F-150s pulled back over a defect that can knock out the brakes on the trailer behind them. The same truck that built Ford's reputation is now the face of losing it. Ford wasn't beaten by a competitor or outpaced by Tesla or a new Chinese automaker. Ford did this to the F-150 itself, one cost-cutting decision and one skipped step at a time. So where does this go from here? The next Ford recall isn't a question of if, it's when and how many. Owners are still sitting on engine replacements that won't be ready for months, and by the time those trucks are fixed, a new campaign will likely be waiting behind it. If you drive a Ford, check your VIN against the Federal Recall Database before you tow anything this summer. Ford isn't done. Not even close.